What's going on, guys? Week 9 is upon us. Weights are moving good. Everything feels good. So excited to see how this week goes. Doing a lot of stuff, but not a lot of vlogging and everything. Mainly because this is not what I do. I do this to kind of give you guys some insight, and I try to make the videos as entertaining as possible. But to be quite honest with you, they're my training logs, and as the competition gets closer, I don't really have time to set up camera angles and do certain things and make these videos any better. I'll give you guys the product that I have, talk to you about what I'm doing in training, but to be quite honest, I'm there to train. I'm not there to be a YouTuber or someone like that. I just want to put out good content, and once the meet's over, I'll start putting out some more tutorial stuff and instructional stuff. But anybody who's competed at a top level knows that when it's time to get down and get to training, nothing else fucking matters. These videos, all this other stuff, it's just a way for me to critique my form, pick my next attempts, stuff like that. So I use that same footage that I watch while I'm at the gym to help critique everything. I just upload it, do some voiceovers, and just try to give you guys as much insight as I can. So these next couple videos are going to be probably shorter than normal and not as great of angles and all this other fancy stuff. But like I said, after the meet, once everything's done, I'll get to uploading more, do more vlogging, and do more instructional stuff, and get you guys up to speed with how the training went, what I think I did wrong, what I think I did well, what's the next steps moving forward. All that fun stuff that you like to do after a meet. Once it's over, you always retrospective, right? You think about what went wrong, what went good, and then you get back to work. You get back to that drawing board. I am getting suckered into probably doing a strongman show, so stay tuned for that. Get some new training up. I used to do strongman once I got out of the military in 2008. Had a lot of fun. It was pretty competitive as a lightweight, but as you guys know, I have the grip of a 4-year-old girl, and I can't hold on to stuff, so that's always my limiting factor, and strongman's a lot of grip stuff. So I will continue to work on that. I think it'll help carry over into my grip for deadlifts, and we'll just go from there. I'm excited for this meet, the way training's going, and really looking forward to getting that 2,000 pound total, getting that monkey off my back, and having a good meet, and just staying healthy. So check out the training, check out some nice little movement PRs. But I never call anything a PR in the gym because it really doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is what you do on the meet. So everyone who claims they hit this PR, they hit this huge PR, then go to the meet and they tank every single time, your PRs don't mean anything. The only thing that means something is your total at the end of the day, on the platform, with judges, with the conditions. So yeah, it's cool. You can throw PRs, it shows progress and stuff, but for me it's just another gym lift until I do it on the meet, and then that'll be a PR. So stay tuned for the rest of the week, and I'll do a recap at the end. So I'll be the first to admit here that I have no clue if these warm-up weights are accurate. Kilos, math, not my best feature, but the last 2 sets that Doyle did and myself are definitely the correct weights. So squats today, everything moved pretty well. I was happy with how things are progressing with the new stance. Weights feeling pretty light, and things are actually moving decently fast for me. So I'm happy with squats. I'm happy with the amount of effort and the amount of work put into the off season is definitely paying its dividends, paying its dues now. And kind of one of the things that I see often is just people expect things to happen without putting in the work to get there. And I get a lot of guys that they want to hire me as a coach, and they're like, yeah, I have a meet in 10 weeks, these are my goals. And it's like, well, what kind of work did you put in to reach those goals? Did you do the necessary work in the off season to reach them? What are you trying to accomplish here? Are you trying to cut weight? So they have these unreasonable goals, these unachievable goals. They want to drop a weight class, they want to add 50 pounds to their squat, and they don't understand that basically, going into a meet, you're really just showcasing the work you put into the off season. It's not something that like you have a magical formula and all of a sudden you're just going to get stronger out of nowhere. Yeah, there are definitely aspects to it that will help you get stronger, which is not taking extremely heavy attempts, not having a lot of grinders, not doing a lot of singles, things like that. You can still add strength going into a meet, but a lot of it has to do with the amount of work you put in leading up to the prep. So you definitely want to make sure that the work and the effort is equivalent to the goals. You can't all of a sudden become a hard worker just because a meet's around the corner. You got to work hard every single day, every single week you're in there. You can work hard in different dynamics, whether it be bodybuilding work, whether it be getting some strongman training in or doing something a little different, but you got to make sure that you're progressing week to week with some type of overload training, so that way when it comes time to hit the heavy weights, you've worked on your weaknesses, you've worked on your injuries, you've worked on everything you needed to work on to hit your goals. And the same thing goes with coaching. You see a lot of times, these young guys, they'll read a book or two and have no real experience coaching, and all of a sudden they become coaches just because they did a meet, they've read a book, they know how to put together an Excel spreadsheet. And I saw Dave Tate put a nice little status up the other day saying that more than likely, if you're getting a Excel spreadsheet from someone, you can go back and read kind of the date created, date updated, and you can see that it's pretty cut and paste from 99% of people. And I can only speak for the places I've worked for and my own company, that I know that we do have templates, but everything else is custom made. So I can only speak to that dynamic. But you got to make sure that the coaches are paying their dues as well, not only themselves. If you have a coach who's been training himself for 5 to 6 years and they're not even at an elite, genetics aside, drugs aside, they should be, if you're putting in work for 5 to 6 years and you're a good coach, you should at least be an elite level lifter. I'm not saying you're going to be top 5, but you should have a respectable total. You should look like you lift. You should have all these things in place in order to call yourself a coach. Because, how are you going to think about hiring someone who can't even make themselves strong? And they've put in 5 or 6 years. And then you have other people who have no clue. They've never coached in person, but yet they're going to be an online coach. They're going to be able to critique form. They're going to be able to, help analyze your form and find your weaknesses. And they've never coached anyone in person. They have no hands-on experience. So if you're looking for coaches and you're looking for an online coach, definitely make sure you do your homework and figure out which ones have actually coached, which ones have actually trained people in person, and which ones are strong themselves. Powerlifting is a sport where if you put in enough work and you're there for long enough with no serious injuries, you're gonna get strong. Even if it's by accident, you're gonna get strong. So if you have the person who has the coolest Excel spreadsheet and read the latest new study and they're weak as shit, they have a $100 education but a 10-cent total, then you definitely don't want to hire them as a coach. You want to be able to find someone who's created themselves out of nothing. That's always a good coach too, because you have the ones that are genetically gifted and they don't know what they're doing either. If you have someone that's extremely strong already to begin with and they never had to put in the work to build that strength, then you definitely want to make sure that they have a good pedigree as far as coaching people in person, because you do see that a lot with elite level lifters. They'll put up good totals and then all of a sudden they're coaches, and they haven't worked with anyone. They don't have any type of experience in the industry. So definitely some things that you want to look for, but most importantly, you just want to make sure that they've paid their dues. They do know their science. they do know their anecdotal science as well, bro science, and that they've done it to themselves and it's worked. You know, you can take anyone and give them an elite level athlete, and all they pretty much have to do is just not screw them up, and they're still an elite level athlete. And that's not the hardest thing to figure out. You know, if you talk to any strength coach that is working with professionals, they'll tell you their biggest goal is to keep their guys healthy. So just some things to think about when you're hiring a coach. Make sure they pay their dues, and same thing with training. Make sure you're paying your dues so that you can get the work in that you're trying to accomplish at the end of the prep. Alright, wrapping up week 9. Training went really well. Really starting to feel some of the heavier weights. As you saw, changed up my stance. Squats still feel really good. Groin issues pretty much gone. But what I have noticed is that when I bring my stance in, it really beats up my my hip and my knee, mostly on the lateral side, on the outside of them. So just got to keep working on improving my mobility, because I'm not gonna go back to a wider base stance right now, because you know, with muscles and injuries and stuff, it's just it's hard to predict when it's fully healed. So if I'm able to do what I'm capable of with a closer stance and avoiding the injury, then I'm just gonna keep rolling with that and just see how things go. And like I said, everything's moving really well. It actually feels stronger. Just having issues flexibility wise, being able to maintain good position, and that just comes, you know, from negligence really. Only have to be as flexible as I need to be, but obviously it's something I need to work on, because if injuries are happening and I have to change things up, I need to be flexible enough to adapt to any of the problems that I'm having. And that is in training, with the lifts, and just in general, right? If I have a groin issue and I have to pull conventional, and I suck at conventional because I can't get into position and I'm not used to it, then there goes that meet prep, right? Everything's gonna suffer from there. So you know, finding your weaknesses, eliminate them as much as you can, and continue to build on your strengths, and it should play really well into what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do. So like I said, that wraps up the training. Sitting at, what is it, 3 weeks out, and just feeling really good, ready to do this, ready to get down there, compete, and just see what I'm made of. So as always guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you guys next week with some heavy squats.